Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Tuesday Night Flight, presented to you by the Sideline Junkies. It's the big guy KG. From now on, you need to call me Big Brain Genius. But sitting there with the man, the myth, and the legend that is the Midnight Rider.
What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I was pissed. Like 2 phone calls I was waiting to have. I talked to my nephew yesterday, who's the Nuggets fan. So I got the "We Are the Champions" serenade. And he hit me with he hit another song. So yeah, I'm good, man. And then I knew this was coming today, so I'm ready, man.
I'm glad you're ready because I'm here, man. I'm here. Yeah, that's right. I called it. I said Nuggets in 5. Nuggets win in 5. Let me pull up the scores and the stats from last night so we can talk about that. Here's the thing. Before we jump into the joyous occasion, let me address this first. Last night after the Nuggets won, 11 people, it was reported 11 people were shot. I'm not sure. I pretty much have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure. You know, people celebrate by shooting their guns off in the air, and I hate that. I hate it because what goes up must come down. And the crazy part is you're killing innocent people when you do this. You're hurting innocent people, you know. Yeah, you got a gun. Please, y'all, stop doing that. Because not only are you hurting people, you damaging property, man, you're taking lives at times. Please, let's stop with the shooting in the air to celebrate. That's not a celebration. You know, they call that dictator style. I don't like it. Please. But on to happier things. The Nuggets win 94-89. They beat the Miami Heat despite getting 21 from Jimmy Butler, 20 from Bam Adebayo, along with 12 rebounds, 12 from Struss, 12 from Lowry, and 10 from Martin. Your 2023 NBA Finals MVP, Nikola Jokic, gave you a solid 28 points and 16 rebounds. Michael Porter Jr., 16 points and 13 rebounds. Aaron Gordon probably had his worst game of the series, and they still won. I'm not even mad. He only had 4 points last night. Jamal Murray gave you 14, 8, and 8. KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 11. Brown gave you 10. Braun gave you 7. Uncle Jeff Green gave you 4. DeAndre Jordan gave you a triple goose egg, but he got his ring, and that's what I'm happy about. I'm happy. Jeff Green, of course, Hoyer, DeAndre Jordan, KCP, Aaron Gordon. I'm happy about those 4 guys getting the ring, and they were instrumental in getting that ring. So I'm happy about that. Of course, I'm happy about the Nuggets winning anyway, because it's anybody other than the front runner. I'm happy with that. So, your thoughts on me being a genius, sir?
No comment.
Okay, your thoughts on Game 5?
So the game 5 played out like I've been telling people. It's the only Miami had to make it ugly. They did. Unfortunately, they couldn't make any shots. You said Adebayo had 12 rebounds, but what was his point total?
Adebayo had 20 points.
All right, so he was okay. But Jimmy at one point only had 14 till he went on his little run. Strus or Strauss, whatever we calling him, he had like 4. Caleb Martin disappeared, and my man Gabe Vincent disappeared. He competes like heck, but this series, those 3 were out, man, and those were the guys that carried them last series. So that's why you see that they lost us in 5. They just couldn't do anything. And I think you were one of the big proponents of this when you were talking about my Denver's height advantage. And I think I underestimated that because I wasn't expecting Aaron Gordon to come out game 1 and try to go and dog somebody in the post. I was expecting him to stay on the perimeter. I'm also glad that last night I didn't put a parlay in because I would have had Aaron Gordon going for 10 points at least, and that would have killed the parlay. So I saved some money there, I guess. But I mean, the Joker came out, did his thing. I mean, they have an impressive combination, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but the question I think becomes next is, like, how long can they make this run? How long will Denver be the beast of the West or the best of the West going forward? And then you got to also give an acknowledge, since we talk about like ownership and owners. I mean, Stan Kroenke's got 4 titles now. The Colorado Avalanche, whatever their soccer team was, he's got the Rams, and he's got this. So that tells you something. I mean, he may have done St. Louis dirty, but the man wins a chip or can win a chip. And I mean, I think that's what you want. I mean, I think you want an owner to have you in a spot where you can compete for championships. And as long as you can do that on a day in, day out basis or a season in, season out basis, you're in a good place. And I think that's what they're getting. And hopefully that's something we develop here in Washington. You pick a team going forward, and I can say that for all of them.
Hopefully. And Ross is in the comment section. Fellow genius. We both had 4-1. Yes. I tip my cap to a fellow genius such as yourself, Ross. Because we geniuses. We knew this. You know, we knew it. Really happy for DeAndre Jordan. Dude's been through a lot. Yeah. You think about what he went through. Lob City. They couldn't get it done. New York couldn't get it done. Didn't really do much in Chicago. Didn't do much in Detroit. He didn't do anything anywhere else. And, you know, he came somewhere, and I guess his veteran leadership kind of really put it over the top for them. But on the other side, and Ross said he had some injuries too. I forgot about the injuries. Yeah, he did. On the flip side, kind of sad for Udonis Haslem. I do feel for Udonis Haslem because last night was his last official NBA game, and you know Ross is coaching. I think Spoelstra got out-coached a little.
I gotta fight back on that one. I think Spoelstra did everything you could do to keep that team and that team the way it's constructed right now. And I think 2 names that people keep saying Tyler Hero. Let's not forget they had Victor Oladipo on this team as well. That was giving them at least 10 to 15 points a night. And when you lose both of those guys in a series like this, where your scoring is imperative, that hurts. I mean, I think Spoelstra played a lot of zone. This game, they busted 100 points, did they? I think it was like 94, 89 or something like that. So Spoelstra did his job. Spoelstra got them to a place where they could win this ball game. The problem was the role players, and even Jimmy, they just didn't have anything left.
And Ross has agreed. To me, he seemed to react a little slower than in the past. And as far as Udonis Haslem, he says same. I don't want this. I don't want this series. Now we can talk about the Nuggets and Mike Malone. We can talk about them till we blow in the face. But showing a little love to the Miami Heat, Spoelstra has to, dare I say it, be mentioned in the same breath as far as active coaches with Pop.
Huh?
He has to be mentioned in the same breath because he's taken.
Oh, we on different pages.
He's taken nothings and he's turned them into deep playoff runs. He's taken quite possibly the greatest active
Okay. active
basketball player on the planet, along with arguably a top 5 and a top 10 big man, and he won championships. He went to the finals, but even when he has Jimmy Butler and his roster's depleted, he got a bunch of undrafted guys. They made it all. Let's not act like this run wasn't remarkable and it wasn't Cinderella-like. They're the AC.
I like to use a different word than Cinderella-like. I like to say historical, because the teams that they knocked out in this run, in this route. I mean, you take out Milwaukee, the Knicks don't matter as much, but you take out Milwaukee and then you take out, I think Boston the 1 seed or the 2 seed?
Boston was 2 seed.
And then Milwaukee was the 1 because they won 8. All right, so you take out the top 2 seeds in impressive fashion, and then you still are in the finals with a chance to win it. And really, it's just your limitations, the only thing that held you back. And when you're coming about Spo was my number 1. So it's Spo then Pop for me. So
really,
yes, if we talk, I'm surprised it hasn't come out more on this show, but I'm Team Spo all the way. Spo is in that, like, he's in that Izzo lane, and he did their sideline out of bounds play with like 3 minutes left. They threw the lob out to Jimmy. They purposely set the screen on the inbound passer. I think it was Strus or somebody pops out to the corner. Magic, beautiful. That's what the Boston Celtics killed us with. And what was that, 08, 09? The year they won it? That was the play that killed us. And when I watched it and I saw it, I was like, I know that. I know what that is.
I'm with it, man. But I can't.
Supposed to 1, Pop 2, and then
I can't.
Hey, you said it. You said the pieces.
Yeah,
I give it to Pop that he did it with like Tony Parker, Manu, guys that you really didn't expect to be stars, and you placed them around Tim Duncan. But I mean, you got Jimmy Butler.
Pop was a GM too,
right? And then he came down because he wanted to be the coach, and I used to hold that against him. But yeah, I mean, Pop is good. Don't get me wrong. He would any other time, if there was any other coach out there, he'd be top of my list. But I think for me, just because Spoelstra's got 4 undrafted guys on the court, and they're actually contributing, and they're actually making a difference. They beat those 4 guys, or 3 of those 4 guys helped them beat Boston. So yeah, I just have to give him credit for that.
Now, see, you said something, and I'm gonna say this. Mount Rushmore of coaches in the NBA. Red.
Okay.
Bill.
Okay.
Pop.
Okay.
Riley.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you on that. I'm talking about, since you like to use the word active, I'm talking about active coaches. Right now, my top active coach is Eric Spoelstra. When we're talking about active coaches.
Okay, active coaches. Active. You got Pop, Spo. Damn. I don't think you can do it. Who go after that? Where do you go number 3?
I think that's a great question because maybe it's a guy like a Nurse. It depends on what you like, because NBA coaches don't stay around long enough.
No,
you either have like that legacy, that tenure enough for them to do certain things or get in certain levels.
And Ross say Spoelstra's done more with less. I agree 10,000% because he has done more with less. Like, I know we're supposed to be talking about the Nuggets, but let's talk about Eric Spoelstra real quick.
The video room.
Huh?
So he started out in the video room.
Yeah. Hell of a way to work your way up. His first season in Miami was 2008, 2009. Over 500. 43 and 39. First round exit. Second season 09-10, 47-35, first round exit. Third season, they went to the finals, 58-24. They went to the finals, lost. Then you had the lockout season of 2011-2012. They only played 66 games, so they went 46-20. Won the championship following season, 66-16, and won the championship. They lost in the finals at 54. He's only had he's only had 2 seasons under 500 and only missed the playoffs twice. Damn. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. He missed the playoffs 3 times in his whole career. Like, come on, son. Man. Spoelstra is a dude. He's a dog.
There's an interview. And this is going to talk to Heat culture, and Ross may be able to help me out. I know it wasn't Chris. I think it was on a Hoffman show. He was interviewing somebody from the Miami media, and in the thing, and this is gonna be a very loose paraphrase, so don't quote me on any of this. This is very loosely paraphrased, but there was a point where LeBron was frustrated with everything that was going on. And he goes to Spoelstra to complain, and Spoelstra basically just looks at him. And this is where the loose interpretation comes into play. But Spoelstra literally walks him into Pat Riley's office. It's like, this is the person I answer to. That's it. So if you don't like what's going on here, maybe you talk to him and see what you can do. But yeah. And they basically made it so that LeBron understood that this is the Miami way. This is how we do things. You came here to win a championship. We didn't come to you. And when I heard that, that's one of those moments where I fall in love with a coach. Like right now, Spoelstra in Izzo territory. You know what I'm saying? He on that. The coaches I love is Spoelstra, Izzo, even though Izzo's higher up on the mountain. But yeah,
I'll give you that. Hey, Ross says, if you have a team that doesn't have stars, Spo's going to get more out of that group than Pop. And he's a Pop guy. I'm a Pop guy. But if he doesn't have a star or two, he's not as impressive. He tried to rekindle the flame when they got LaMarcus Aldridge. But they got LaMarcus Aldridge 2 years too late.
Right.
And then I think LaMarcus had the heart issue while he was in San Antonio. So he had to retire for a minute. And he said, "Yep, I think it was on Chris' show."
Okay.
So, but the Nuggets, they win their first title, ABA or NBA. They win their first title. Congratulations to them. Are in order. Jokic, MVP. I mean, who else did you think was going to be MVP? I knew he was going to be MVP. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean, they've been writing his story for the whole season, and I think if Embiid doesn't close out the season averaging 30 plus points, I mean, I think that MVP is Embiid, is Jokic, is not Embiid's. But I think the world made the NBA reconsider it a little bit.
The world of Kendrick Perkins.
I'm gonna give it to the world because I don't want to get Kendrick's an old Celtic, so I can't give him that much credit.
Let me tell you something. We were messing around. We were talking about the other day. Man, we were talking about NBA 2K, and we were talking about Madden. Kendrick Perkins is actually playing himself on that game, and he's outrageous on that game too. You got a dude that's averaging 5, 5, and 5, and you got another guy that's averaging 30, 20, and 10. And Kendrick Perkins talking about he's a bust. He's going to be out of the league in 5 years. He's talking about the 30, 20, and 10 guy going to be out of the league in 5 years. But the 5, 5, and 5 guy got everything going for him. I digress. Let's talk about legacy.
Hold on. We got to give the world got to give Kendrick his props. Because after the trade deadline, I was one of the people that was suspicious about this. But he said the Lakers were going to be in the Western Conference Finals. So he got to get some just due on that.
I bet you will give him his props on that.
Say that again.
I bet you will give him his props on that.
Hey man, I'm just saying. I give you props. I'm just not acknowledging that you're a genius. I said you called it. I just won't acknowledge the genius part. That's all.
Well,
now we're at the point.
Speaking of legacy, hold on. We got a comment here. Let me see what this comment is. Ross says, "I'm happy for the Nuggets. I saw them play when they were in the ABA and played the Virginia Squires." Yeah, I'm old as fuck, bro.
Hey, I'm just proud that Ross used the AF. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is,
that's how you know he got kids.
But here's the crazy part. We might have to sit down and have a conversation because, like, I need stories, man. I'm so fascinated with basketball as a whole. And if you're from DC, you know, when you get on the Red Line train, if you get on it at Rhode Island Avenue and you go into DC, deeper into DC, you see this building that looks like an arena. And it's pre-internet days. I always wondered what the hell that building was. They used to use it for a trash depot. That's where their trash trucks parked at. I found out through a lot of research that used to be the U-Line Arena. That's where Red Auerbach coached the Washington Capitals basketball team of the BAA. That was the precursor to the NBA. He coached in that building.
So
not only that,
I know what else was in that conversation.
What was that?
You were talking about the 1971-72 Celtics as one of the best teams to never win an NBA championship after going, what was it, 58-14 or 68-14?
No, that wasn't in that conversation.
Oh, okay. My bad.
But U-Line Arena is a
place for you too, because never mind.
Wait, because I want to do that show. Greatest teams that never win a championship.
Right? Yeah. There's another team that I have for you too. So I'm not going to use that content now.
But U-Line Arena was also the first place that the Beatles played on American soil. So a little bit of history now. I think it's a REI store now. So yeah. But let's talk about legacies. Jokic. You told me a statement that was made. Well, a question that was put out there. Is Jokic top 5 big man of all time?
So it became, can Jokic become top 5 all time?
Okay, can.
I'm gonna let them have that can, because that's a better statement than Izzy. Because if you said Izzy, then I'm like, you live in a microwave.
Hell no.
Just hold on. Let me get the point out. I know what you're gonna say. But you live in a microwave, and like your world only exists like to 2002. If it's that far back, your world might end at 2012. If you're having that conversation, so that's the part where you have to be careful and watch like the language that we use and when we talk about these things, because we have to respect the historians. And see, this is why I brought the question to you being the historian and all. I never forget our conversation about the 1963 MVP race. So, if there's one person that knows history, it's you. So when I saw the question, I reacted because I'm like, you can't throw the man that fast, that far up on the list. There it is. But for some reason, this league, or this, I shouldn't even say this league, this media loves to like act as if the world just happens right now. And we throw people in these questions way too prematurely. Does he have the possibility? Yes. Because now he's at what? Maybe his 3rd MVP. If he wins the MVP next year, he's going to have a title in hand. And, the next thing we got to look at some point in our conversation, maybe in the next segment, is like, what will the team bring back? What does Denver have going forward? And can they really keep up and sustain this? Can this be a dynasty? Those are questions we're going to have to start asking sooner than later, instead of thinking this is, Milli Vanilli. They one-hit wonders.
Can you really count Milli Vanilli as a one-hit wonder? They had 2-hit songs.
Okay, give me the dude that sing Macarena, whoever he is. There you go. One-hit wonder.
Okay, I'll let
if you got knowledge on more so, you're a better man than me.
I mean, because people be calling folks one-hit wonders, like they called who was it? Who the fuck was it? I can't remember who it was, but they called somebody a one-hit wonder, and I was like, no, then it was the Mary Jane Girls. They called the Mary Jane Girls one-hit wonders. I was like, no, they're not. They got several.
You gotta also realize that's where the cultural divide in our music comes in, because I had the one where it was Chris and Pete. Their show that they did, I think Wednesdays was one-hit wonders on Wednesdays, and they played Minnie Riperton. On our side of the legacy, Minnie Riperton is nowhere near a one-hit wonder. But if you put her in the mainstream, "Loving You" is really the only song that really gained traction on both sides of the world. And that's how I say it. Because we all know there used to be train tracks that led to one side of town. And when you cross over those train tracks, you went into a certain part of town.
True indeed.
So I think sometimes like musical rankings are the train tracks, because there's two separate worlds that we operate in. So now let's get back to legacy and talking about Jokic.
Hold on. Let me say this right now. If you have never listened to Inside My Love, I'm gonna need you to rethink your life. That's just one of many. But Inside My Love.
But again,
so much innuendo, but she never really said what it was.
But again, KG, we're talking about, and I feel like I'm Casey Kasem welcoming you to the top 100 hits. But like we're deviating too far. But again, this goes back to this thing where like our music is so segregated in our worlds that like there's a reason you can hear. And now I'm going on a soapbox, but you'll hear a John B. Not even a John B. I'll go even further. You'll hear an Adele. You'll hear Sam Smith on one of our radio stations, but you won't hear a Snow Allegra, Mary J. Blige, a Jill Scott on another side of the station, on a rock station or a pop station. So there's that part always correlate or congeal at the mesh point. There's always a separation. It's always oil and vinegar and never whatever that mixes together. Kool-Aid and sugar.
Gotcha. Now, back to the question at hand. Can he be top 5 all-time big man? I'm talking about the Joker. Ross says he can, not right now.
Right.
Let me say this. It's so many players that he would have to climb over. And I said I'm gonna throw some names at you real quick, and you tell me, is he better than them or can he be better than them? Okay.
I didn't know we were playing a game. Okay.
Now let's real quick.
Do we have a game? Do we have game show music?
All right. First name. Well, just gonna go down the list. All big men. Let's start easy. He better than Chris Bosh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. Better than Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh no.
Can he be better than Wilt Chamberlain?
No, I think there's 2 or 3 spots. I think Wilt and Bill get like still plated places on the Mount Rushmore. Theirs can't be Rock. I think you can. I mean, I think there's people that he can, depending on his legacy, he can challenge an Akeem. He can challenge maybe a Shaq, but it's got to get like you got to understand what we're talking about. We're talking about him getting into elite territory, and I know like our world is so.
We call the order off the court. Look, hey Rose, I don't think Jokic is a little too old to be trying to sleep with 20,000. Man, he not beating that now. That's one number he not breaking.
I think Jokic is I think he has some contractual obligations that maybe he won't get to that 20,000. So that might be the other issue for him as well. But God, he made me use my train of thought. But yeah, it's just like I just think there's we can get to certain players. So let's get to the realm where I think he can the neighborhood he can move into.
Okay, hold on before you do that. Edwin says he can be a top 5 center for sure. All right, Edwin, let me ask you this: if you got 5 centers, whatever your top 5 is right now, what 5th center is he moving out to become top 5? Because he's not moving in my top 5 ever. He got to be damn good to move out Shaq, Hakeem, Bill, Wilt, and Kareem. Those are the 5 right there. If you can move out those 5, he's not moving out those 5. In my book, your book may be a little bit different from mine. And Ross says facts about him not getting 20,000. You're a little too old to get 20,000. You got to start about 16. But
so the neighborhood that I think he can reside in comfortably, put his feet up, raise his kids. I'm gonna go with the whole moving in metaphor if you didn't catch on to that yet. I think he can get into that Robinson, Ewing, that second tier center group. Even I don't know what you consider Duncan in there. You're asking me, can he?
I'm saying, but
he's got 2 MVPs already.
I get that.
And he's got a championship.
You got David Robinson, Patrick Ewing on a second tier. Well, I guess we had to put it in tiers.
If we're putting it in tiers, they're not in your top 5. You can't put them anywhere else. You can't put them in the upper room. You can't put them up there.
But
you got to put them on the second floor.
Knowing how dominant David Robinson was against everybody except for Hakeem Olajuwon, it's just kind of weird hearing anybody say second tier. But I get it. And Edwin says,
and he's also a Spurs. You're already for the Spurs. Okay. It might be unprofessional, but yeah, I don't.
Okay. So you putting him in the class with Robinson, Ewing,
no,
who else?
That's what I'm saying. He can get. That's where he's going to have to.
Where he can be at.
Right.
That's his feeling.
Right. So I think that's the group he becomes. He becomes in the conversation. You can have a healthy dialogue as long as you're not being stupid with, and depending on who you contain in this group, he can probably be in that top 10, conversation. I don't know if you can actually where you feel comfortable putting him at, but he's got money to pay rent in that division right now with his 2 MVPs and his championship. Now, can he stay there or can he move up? It's a possibility. He could be like George and Weezy and move on up.
You showing your age too. But let me ask you this. So when you say second tier, let's flesh out the second tier real quick. You say Ewing, Duncan. Would you put Walt Bellamy and Willis Reed in that Wes Unseld?
I think Wes, Bellamy, their third group. I'm thinking, and again, this is off the top of my dome, so I didn't have the research team, go into the room to break this down. But I'm thinking the guys like Ewing, Robinson, maybe like a Moses. You know what I'm saying? Depending on your respect or your level for Bill Walton, I think Bill's third tier, but for some people he's second tier. I think his injuries make him third and not second. If I'm doing this off the top of my dome. Who else? Who am I missing? We probably gotta vet it out a little bit more. Maybe a George Mikan somewhere in that second tier. Things like that.
I ain't gonna put you on the spot, but put a pin in it. We'll hope. Where we put? Hold on. Let me. Ross says, "Where does Hakeem rate?" I think we had Hakeem in the first tier.
Right, he's our top five.
Edwin says, "I think he can be in a class by himself based on his skill set. Not saying he passes your top 5. Now, I can agree with that. Only other person you can put in his skill set is a young Sabonis. Him and Sabonis. Those would probably be the only 2 dudes on that tier because they did it all.
Right.
But you got to remember, we saw Sabonis in America later than what we should have. Imagine if he would have came over in 86 and he was with the Blazers in 86. You would have had him, Petro, Clyde. Let's not even go to that. Let's not even do that. This ain't a what if show. Let's not even do it.
You know what the response is, right?
Yeah, I know.
Lakers
they still get beat by the Lakers. And he does have a very unique skill set.
But you know what?
I agree with you, Edwin. I agree. He could be in a class by himself.
So we might have to do a on the spot segment edition. Because I sat here, and this isn't going to replace question of the day, but this was me thinking. Like, I feel like American basketball. So if you want to put a header on this, I don't know if you had time to do it in this short notice, but where is American basketball
right now on the world stage?
On the stage of, like, where is this NBA? Because for the longest time, foreign players didn't come over here and just dominate out the gate. They had to gain an understanding of the game. But I feel like because America has failed in teaching basketball the correct way, like, I think we've gone to a point where we've dumbed down our basketball to a point where when the foreign guys come over, they're so far ahead of the curve because they're still learning the fundamentals. We're not teaching the fundamentals anymore.
That's your problem.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's, like, I almost shed a tear when I watched, I think it was Miami. They had like a 2-on-1 break and the ball didn't touch the floor. Like, inside, my soul cried because that's just what we used to. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, the next possession, they came down, crossed somebody up, kicked it out, did something else, Euro stepped. But it's, again, like, it's just, like, I think we make the game harder, the game of basketball harder than it has to be. Because we got to get the oohs and ahs. And for some reason, the oohs and ahs get more points than the actual 2 points that go in on the scorecard. I might have to put that on like a Hallmark card.
I like that.
Yeah.
Edwin says, Yankees go, y'all. Hey, look, I love saying that. I love hearing that. The game is global now, and the NBA needs to follow soccer's model. There's a new set of fundamentals for these kids. Yeah.
Well, Ed, you're coaching basketball now, right, Ed?
I was just watching a video with Kobe, and he was saying about 12-year-olds. Like, I don't know what to teach these 12-year-olds. So he's like, I took and taught him the basic fundamentals of the game, and he said yes, he's coaching basketball.
So that Kobe video is the best video, one of the best videos out there, because he said what we did was we took basketball, we kept it simple, but instead of moving forward, and if you don't know the story, but his girls team started out and they were getting crushed. They were getting blown out of the gym because their skill level wasn't where everybody else's skill level was. And then I think year 2 or year 3, they made it. He kept them doing the same thing, and they didn't understand it. He had to sit down and talk to them, and kind of explain that if we stay this way, By the time you get to the next level, which was a 12 and under, you're going to dominate because you do things the right way. And sure enough, that next year, that team dominated. And that's what it is. I think we took some of the basic fundamentals of basketball out of basketball because we look at it from the spectrum of a computer screen. I can't give you all my jewels.
And Edwin say girls high school. Basketball. So the mental fundamentals and the skill fundamentals are two different things. I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree. I mean, you can't expect a 9 and under team to run the daggone triangle correctly. It's grown men that can't run the triangle. I spent a lot of my high school years yelling at the TV because Luke Longley pivoted the wrong way. I spent a lot of my put Bill Whittington in the goddamn game. Luke keeps pivoting the wrong way. I spent a lot of my high school years doing that. A lot of it.
So Edwin's on, and I don't know what level he's coaching. He'll probably comment on it. But
he said girls high school.
No, I'm just asking the varsity. Is he assistant, head coach, all that type of stuff? The details. Because I had my run. I coached JV girls. I was assistant coach. And it was at Bishop Ireton. And one of the things I always do, and I used to always tell the like a head coach, I was like, yo, the good thing about girls is if you tell them to do X, Y, and Z, they'll never do Y to score a basket. They're still going to go to Z. Even though Y can be wide open, they're going to go to Z because you told them to do X, Y, and Z. It's one of the beautiful things about it. And so we used to run an out of bounds play. And I used to tell the coach, after the second or third time we run it, we're going to start getting layups. And we would get layups off our inbounds just because I knew girls, when they're taught, they do what they're supposed to do. They don't always make the right basketball decision. It's not a knock. They're just trying to do the right thing the whole time. Where guys will improvise. Love about girls basketball. Now, I mean, this was 2012. Now, the young ladies are a little bit more advanced. They have some improvisation in their game. But when I was doing it, that was the one thing I always counted on, was them doing their job.
Edwin is the varsity associate head coach.
Give us a school, man, because if you close by, we going to come out.
Yeah, that's one thing I love doing. And it's kind of hard. It used to be so easy to pull up to high school games and just sit down and watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard now because you got people that made it hard. But you can't just go watch and just take notes. Like I used to love watching Elizabeth Seton play. Even after I graduated high school, I loved watching them play. And I would watch them and I would keep up with them all. They had these two twins that played for them that was dominant. They were vicious. And I followed them everywhere. Wherever they went, what school they was going to, I wanted to see what they were going to do because, number one, they were a product of the neighborhood. I lived across the street. When I say across the street, I could walk out my front door, turn to the right, and see Elizabeth Seton. Right. I lived across the street from the school. So, I stayed invested in what their sports team did. But it's so hard to pull up and say, I'm going to watch this, I'm going to watch that. If you're not a scout, people kind of look at you funny. Well, you got a kid on the team? No, I'm just here to watch some football. I'm here to watch football. I'm here to watch basketball. I'm here to watch a baseball game because I want to see fundamentals. I want to see how these kids are being trained and taught. And then if you're thinking about getting into coaching, you're trying to see, okay, what are they running? All right.
So the one girl or the one young lady I wish I got to see live. She's at UConn now. She in the St. John's. Was Azzy Fudd. Like I watched videos of her shooting, like she was on the shooting drill, and it was ridiculous. And now she's at UConn, but I would have loved to seen her live, like in a high school gym, in a gym, getting her run on. Now we done gone way off topic from legacy. Get us back.
Edwin says girls are easier and harder to coach than boys. I know that don't make sense, but
It makes all the sense.
Not but by text because my fingerprints. I got you. CD Hilton, Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yeah, hey, shoot, if I can make it, man, because my son goes to Woodbridge, so if I can try to make it out, bro, I will. Even if you're doing summer league, definitely. But it's funny, it's funny that you said that because that's right. Because you're managing emotions, and you gotta watch sometimes how you say things, and it's different. It's different. It was definitely a different, for me, a different experience. And I think I learned more from them than they learned from me in the long run. So, yeah, definitely.
And Edwin, which game is this, Edwin? It's top of the fourth, 2 on, first and third, 1 out.
He's probably watching the Yankee game because that's what y'all talk about.
Don't hate. Come on, Cheese Toast. Don't be like that. 27-time world champion. Here we go. We played Fall League in Springfield and then PG. Oh, that's Mets Yanks. Oh, Subway Series. Ooh, Subway Series. I'm on here yakking. Let me hurry up and get up out of here. He said he'll get us a schedule.
All right, bet.
So that's a bet. I would love. I'd take that drive. Hell,
we go to Springfield. I'm letting you know right now. We go to Springfield. We going to Sandwich Republic. If we go to Springfield, we going to Sandwich Republic for sure.
And it's 5-4 Mets right now. But to bring it back home with the legacy, I think Joker's ceiling is probably that second tier. Like Edwin said, a whole tier by himself. I wish the dude nothing but success. Let me put that out there. I wish him nothing but success. I just think he's a absolute beast, man, and he's been a beast for years. But
yeah, I think for him, the kicker is what's their window? Because we know all these teams have windows, and it's funny because after the first championship, we act like the window doesn't exist, and because I remember the conversations were like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes can have 7 championships." No, he can't. Like let's get off of that. That's Brady did it, and it was special. Pat might not get there, so let's pump our brakes. Let's respect history, and let's take it one championship at a time. Like let's let him get to 2, or let's let him get to 3. So with Joker, it's the same thing. Let's let him get to his second championship. Let's see if he can repeat. I don't think he will, but let's get him to repeat first, or get his second, and then we go from there.
And that brings us to our next topic. One of the main reasons why teams don't repeat. Because you cannot, it's not like it used to be in the good old days, when you could bring back nearly all your roster. You might lose a free agency piece here and there, but after guys win championships, the first thing they're trying to do is go get paid.
Right.
Trying to get that bread. Everybody's trying to cash in. I remember Charles Barkley said, 93, we all played together. We did everything together. After that 93 season, everybody wanted their own spotlight. Why am I not getting enough time? Why I ain't getting no commercials? I'm not playing. I'm not doing this. He's like, the whole team was off. That's why we never went back.
Mm-hmm.
He said we should have went back and won in 94. We didn't go back in 94 because nobody wanted to play anymore. Everybody was bitching and complaining about not having a spotlight. You didn't have a spotlight the year before. It seems like when you win championships, guys get greedy.
No, guys want to get paid.
I think that's greed. I mean, let me rephrase
that. You can't say greed because
that's why I said let me rephrase that. I'm not going to sit here and say if I got a chance to get paid, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna be like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna not get paid and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. Can't do that. Not gonna do that. So I'm not gonna say greed. Greed is the wrong word. And the Yankees are up 6-5.
Okay.
But I can't see if I got a chance to win multiple titles, the money will fade. I'll run out of money. the fame, the lights, all of that shit will go away. But one thing they can't take is when I got that ring. They cannot take that ring from me or several rings from me if it's up to me. And
what's your why?
Huh?
See. So I hear that, and then sometimes I feel like sometimes about your why. Like if you're the sixth best or seventh best guy on a championship team, and you go somewhere else and you're the third or fourth guy, I think you want to prove that you can do it with a bigger role. You want to be more important on that team. You don't want to just sit at number 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. And then sometimes you just want to get yours because, all right, I've been sitting on the bench on this team and I get 10 a night. But if I go somewhere else, I can get 20, 22 a night. Yeah, I might go get that 22 a night. I got a ring. They can't take that one away from me, but hey, I'm good. But it also depends on your makeup. I mean, you're more of a team guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my wife may not like to hear me say this, but I'm the type that if the team offers me a team-friendly deal, let's say, what's the going right now? 4 years, $45 million. Right. But I get an offer from the New York Knicks, 7 years, $140 million, and it's all guaranteed. I might stay where I'm at because I'm in a winning situation rather than go to the cesspool that is the Knicks for the money. Right. Because I've seen a lot of players chase money and never reach the level of fame that they thought that they would get. I don't want to be one of those guys. I would rather, have my value go up and I'll be a person that everybody wants and I'm getting all the endorsements and stuff. Yeah, the money's gonna come. The money's gonna come. But I'd rather win while the money's coming. Look at Horace Grant. Horace Grant left the Bulls after 93. No, I'm sorry, after 94. He left the Bulls and went to Orlando in free agency. They beat the Bulls in 95, celebrated all that. Okay, yeah. You get to the finals and you get smacked around all day long. But you went and chased the money. You didn't win again until you got to the Lakers and you hooked back up with Phil. That's when you won another championship. You didn't do anything down in Orlando. Shaq left after 95. He left in 96. He rolled out on y'all. Penny was hurt. Nick Anderson confidence was shot. Nick Anderson didn't become Nick Anderson again until he got to Sacramento. He was a shell of himself then. See what I'm saying? That's what happens when you go chase the money. I don't want to go chase the money. That's me personally, though. I'm not a money person. That's how I mean.
It's not even about being a money person. Sometimes you want to dictate your narrative. Like you want to have some more control over your narrative. So sometimes, like after that championship, you want to. We were just talking about it. Your legacy. You want to put something else on your legacy. Maybe you want to have a bigger impact on getting the title. That's all. That's all I'm saying, man. Like that part of the world, and that's probably a spot where we'll always have different opinions. That's why it makes a great conversation. And, so free agency. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just get to this real quick. Edwin says he agreed on getting paid. It's a business, and when you win a chip, your value changes. I agree with that. Value changes according to the NBA market. I agree with that. Ross says that Magic team had so much talent, but after they got punched in the face, it was over. Exactly. Yep. And they went to the finals, and Hakeem destroyed them. 4-0 sweep. Done. Dunsky. Out of there.
Yeah, but they were Dunsky mentally after those 4 missed free throws. After that, they got shattered. I think they were too young and too immature to handle that. And I think Shaq is one of the guys that has the most sweeps, or has been associated with the most sweeps in the NBA playoffs. We talk about his dominance, but one of the things he struggled with was in playoff series. It may not have been him as the weak link, but because he had Eddie Jones,
All right,
it wasn't his fault.
Can Miami and the Nuggets run it back? I'm not even going there with you. What's the free agency? What are the free agency looking? What is? You got me all discombobulated, man. What are they looking like as far as free agency go? Both teams, Miami and the Nuggets. Who's up?
So it looks like the Nuggets have 8 free agents. It looks like 6 are unrestricted, 2 are restricted. But when you look at the names, I mean, it's nothing that's going to be a detriment to this team because Gordon, Jokic, Porter, and Murray are all under contract. And it looks like all 4 of those guys are under 29 years old. So they can contend with that core. So the first person that's up is Bruce Brown. He has a player option that would be about $6.8 million for 23-24. If he declines it, then he'll be unrestricted. That's the one guy I think that might decline that option and see if he can get a bigger role with some bigger money. Ish Smith, or Baby Massenberg, as I call him, he's an unrestricted free agent. Jeff Green, unrestricted. Thomas Bryant, unrestricted. DeAndre Jordan, unrestricted. Reggie Jackson. And then the 2 young guys that are on restricted deals, Colin Gillespie and Jack White. So they don't have significant pieces, but I think they have pieces that can fall into place and make it better. So I don't see them having a hard, like they can be back in this position next year losing any of those guys, because I don't think those guys were the reasons that they got to where they got to, if that makes sense. Mute button.
Wants to show. Can Miami come back and run it back?
So Miami's is a little different, but it's more interesting because I think because Miami always does this every year anyway. Miami's always in the mode of trying to get better right away. So their situation is you got Udonis Haslem probably retiring. Victor is probably going to exercise his option. He has no choice because he's hurt. So he probably won't be back to middle next year anyway. The 4 unrestricted guys are Kevin Love, Gabe Vincent, Strus, and Cody Zeller. That's stuff you can make up in the aggregate. And then the 3 restricted guys are Omer, U7, Orlando Robinson, and Jamal Cain. With Jamal Cain being on a 2-way deal. So again, their nucleus won't get touched too much, but I see Miami because they're always in the business of trying to take a shot or trying to make a shot to win a championship. I don't see this Miami team coming back in the same form as they left. What you think, KJ?
Right. I don't. I see Denver still being at the top because you see what a healthy Jamal Murray did when he was out. Denver wasn't. Remember this team was in the bubble, which y'all say don't count. Put an asterisk by it. It's a Mickey Mouse ring. In the bubble, they were doing the damn thing until Jamal Murray got hurt.
Right.
When he got hurt, the team went down because you need both wheels to run. I think him and Jokic are both other 2 wheels. So, I think as long as you got those guys and you put complementary pieces around them, hey, who's saying that they're not going to get better? If they lose Aaron Gordon, who's saying they're not going to get better? Edwin says Bruce B is coming back. I like that. He also says Miami needs bigs. Miles Turner. They need a dog in the middle. They need a real dog in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know what you get back from Miles Turner is enough for what they want to have to give up to get him. Like I just don't see him being enough of a guy. I saw reports of like KAT, Karl Anthony Towns going there, and I was just thinking that he's not a guy that fits there because I think he would fold under the pressure that Miami would put on him to be a better player and to get himself in shape and do the certain things that he needed to do. So I'm kind of on the fence on him. but I know Miami's going to take a shot. They're going to shoot their shot somewhere. You know, there's some talk about Dame. There's some talk about Bill. And I think you're going to hear Bill's name a lot this all season. I think you're going to hear the guy I'm curious about is Brandon Ingram, a guy like that. That's somebody I think Washington should look into just to get him some size on the wing. Plus, I think he's a little bit cheaper than sticking with Bill, but that's just a personal opinion. So we'll see how that all plays out in the long run.
All right, let's run through these comments real quick so we can get to this last segment. We were talking earlier about getting paid, and you know, after championship runs, how guys go and get paid. Ross says that's why guys like Kobe, MJ, and Tom Brady are rare breed. Winning to them is all that matters. Edwin says there's a window for the bag. You got to go get it before the window's closed. I don't blame those guys for getting their money. The team is only loyal to that money. That's true.
There you go.
Leroy comes in. He says, unless you're the main guy, you got to get paid.
Yep.
All the hard work you put in, you owe it to yourself and your family. Nobody can take your ring away. The opportunity to get paid may never come back. True. That is true. And I'm going to say it again. I'm the guy that plays NBA 2K. I turned down $100 million from the Lakers to stay in Milwaukee for 49. I'm going for a three-peat. I was trying to win my third ring. I wound up winning another ring. Hey, I had Gatorade. I had Jordan. What did I need money for? Anyway.
Yeah, and I'm the guy that the player I created held out for more money, so I traded him for a first-round pick and drafted another running back.
It's always a running back guy. I never had a player hold out on me. I'm just going to put that out there. You know, such a good organization. We don't have things like that. Ross says I like KAT or Ingram in DC.
It's something about KAT I just don't like. It's something about him. I know what it is, but I'm just not going to say it right now. I'm going to say that for a different show.
Did you catch that? Sometimes
no. It's more like wherever you just signed and
sometimes that heart is missing.
There it is.
But here we go.
That T might stand for 10 man.
I'm not even gonna do the dance. Question of the week. What changed in sports the most from your childhood? The coverage, the salaries, or the players? I believe I said that right because that's your question.
Right. No, actually, it's not my question. So
okay.
I was watching the finals, and my lady, Kristen, was on the phone. She was like, yo, what's the biggest difference? And when she said it, I was like, huh? But as I started thinking about it, I think I had answers for each one. But if I have to think about it, the more I think about it, I think the coverage is one of the more significant things because we've made basketball and football 12-month sports. Baseball is still a 9-month sport only because their draft happens in season. So their draft doesn't really gain the same steam as the NFL draft because you don't see these players right away. But the coverage, I mean, think about it. When we were growing up, you had to watch the main two channels. You was never watching anything on ESPN. Think about the college players. You know, if you got lucky to be on Channel 4 or Channel 9 for your game. So once ESPN came along, that turned the natural powers. Some people call them the blue bloods. You know, it changed the spectrum for them. So for me, it's the coverage that is the biggest difference because the coverage changes how we view things. I remember being a kid watching, 4:00 or 5:00 on a Sunday. My dad making sure we can eat on trays because the NBA finals are on and we gotta watch Magic in the company. You know what I'm saying? Because he not missing that. So yeah, we eating on trays this time. So you break out the trays and whatever, but that's how we eating dinner, Sunday dinner, because we gotta watch the game.
See, I agree with that coverage because you talk about the NBA finals. Let's start there. I remember the NBA finals came on Sunday night. You had the Sunday night, and it was on NBA finals exclusive. to NBC at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Sunday night, Tuesday night, Friday night. Unless if they were doing 2-3-2, or if they were doing 2-2-1-1, different. But it depends on what the travel day was. But you got a game every night, and I knew it was coming. That's how you know it was the end of the school year too. So I stayed up later. You watch that, but
gosh, so I'm a fossil because see the 80s we was watching the game. The game came on like at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And then probably in the 2000s, right when ESPN and ABC got it, it probably jumped up to 8 o'clock. But for early on, a lot of the weekend games came on during a good time, so you could sit and watch it.
Oh no, because the Sunday game was always about 6. No, it was a little later than that because it would always finish late. I remember game 1, 97 finished late because I was sleepy as hell going to school the next day. I actually went to school and went to sleep. So, but the coverage, if you notice, the progression. Remember, the NBA Finals used to be shown on tape delay,
right?
So you got that. You got everything that you can really put in there. So it's the coverage, but the salaries, the coverage equals up to the salaries. Like we talked about Austin Reeves getting this money. And I was like, how is a guy like Austin Reeves getting $40 million? And you was like, that's the standard going rate. I said, since when? But I had to remember, this ain't the 90s. This ain't even the 2000s. This is the 2020s. So guys are getting more money now. They're getting more exposure. You got guys doing commercials that you like, man, you like the 9th guy off the bench. What the hell?
Yeah.
The coverage has changed. And then the NBA, the NFL, and sometimes MLB, they are 24-hour. Not just 12 months. They're 24 hours. Everything you get up to the minute. You pick up your little computer device and you can get anything. You find out any news you want and just go down the rabbit hole and go. The coverage is the biggest thing. I'll agree with the coverage. That's my answer.
I think Ted even said it better during his press conference. You know how he's talking about Monumental as this elite, one of a kind sports television station that's gonna highlight its teams, his teams, and his teams, of course, are the Caps and the Wizards. But I think he's waiting.
Don't leave the ladies out.
Mystics too. And the Go-Go, because they even do pre and post game shows for the Go-Go. Like no G League team is getting the coverage that the Go-Go get. So he's creating a standard, and I would love for him to get the Nats. Personally, and he just tell Rizzo, this is your operation, and let's run whichever you want to do, and let's run it back. So yeah. God, that's another conversation I needed to have too. Damn.
The boss BJ gives his stamp of approval. He says, "Fine job, gentlemen. Appreciate that, boss. Thank you for keeping the lights on." Ross says the Bullets clincher to win the chip, I think, was tape delayed. I know it was late, and I was dragging the ass to school the next day. That was 78.
Yeah,
that tape delay. The CBA, internet, and social media have changed the game in reference to salaries and popularity. Yeah. Because you got guys, it's guys in the NBA. What was the cat? The cat from Miami. He put out a mixtape and wound up getting a tryout. Played in Miami, played meaningful minutes. The receiver that went undrafted, that had a mixtape, and San Francisco saw it and called him in for a trial. He wound up making the team so far. He's on the training camp roster off of a mixtape. You got guys making leagues and getting shots because of the social media age and the work that they're putting in. And oh man, this guy's a talent. Let's see what he got. And 8 times out of 10, they're great guys.
Well, let's even take it back further. Since you're a historian, let's talk about like the 70s and we have all these guys that went to HBCUs that are Hall of Famers, especially in football. Guys like Mel Blount that went to a HBCU. Guys like a Tony Dungy that played quarterback, but now had to move to D-back because, of course, we didn't value the black quarterback and his intelligence at that time. And we're talking about guys that like made impact on the league. And there was no coverage. There was no ESPN3 covering the HBCU tournament or the finals or whatever. Like these were guys going on the highway. You know, it's one of the things that, you know, you may hate the Cowboys, but the Cowboys were big on drafting guys from HBCUs. So were the sorry about that. So were the Steelers. I mean, it's just part of their dynasty and how they built their teams.
I'm gonna tell you. Two players. Two people. Art Shell went to Maryland State, which is now UMass, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, which is an HBCU. One of the best offensive linemen to ever play the game. Pro Football Hall of Famer, College Football Hall of Famer. And then it's a I'm gonna get his name. It's a guy that worked with the Kansas City Chiefs during their Super Bowl season. Where was he at? He was in the front office, but he was the pipeline to the HBCUs.
Yeah. And
of course, I can't find his name. I gotta go, but now I gotta go. Now it's gonna irk me. I'm gonna have to go back and watch America's game because they talked about him in that. But he was the pipeline. He pulled so many guys out of HBCUs that the NFL didn't want to touch. But he was like, "Nah, come on over to the NHL. I mean the AFL.
AFL, right?
You got you got one of the best middle linebackers of all time that came out of HBCU. You know,
it's that's so where the coverage piece come in. That's the coverage piece. You know, you didn't have that back then. Now it's like, wow. You know, I can look at the other night I was watching because James Woods is in Harrisonburg and they were playing the Bowie Bay Sox. Instead of going to the game, I pulled it up on my MLB app and watched AA baseball.
That says something.
The transitions weren't great, but hey, I got to see James Wood play. That kid's gonna be a monster. I mean, that's another show. I got like a baseball top 5 that I can't wait to see. So we're gonna put a pin in that one.
All right. And Ross says coverage, agree, everything you want is at your fingertips. That's true. We can watch in-market and out-of-market games with streamies, but you know, we got so much stuff that we can use, so many things. Junkyard Dog, Fayetteville State, Bronco Pride. That's what Edwin says. He also says Joshua Williams, FSU, just won Super Bowl with KC. And he says Bronco Pride. I get it. That's the big difference right there. It's the coverage. That news coverage and everything. Like when I was younger, you know, I'm much younger than you guys. But when I was younger, you know, we live within 10 miles. And I'm being generous when I say 10. Let me be generous and say 15 of Howard University. I've never seen a Howard University basketball game, but I've watched so many Howard University football games. They used to come on WHUT, Howard University Television. I used to sit there. I knew who Jay Walker was. The rest of the world knew. I knew who he was. But that was, we had that. You know, we used to have, and you talk about Ted and this monumental sports thing. We had that for the local teams. HTS. You could watch the Orioles, the Caps, and the Bullets on HTS. Right. Home team sports. You didn't have to search anywhere. And then if you couldn't catch you couldn't catch the Bullets on HTS, you could catch them on Channel 20. You couldn't catch the Orioles on HTS, you could catch them on WJZ.
Right. Because
it's plenty of times I had to fix them rabbit ears before that first pitch was thrown. So, you know, but you had that. Even the Caps, you just catch the Caps on Channel 20. Now it's like We fight now to see local teams, but we can see any out of market team that we want.
Dude, that kills me so much that I got because I have the MLB app, I can't watch the old Nets, but I can watch the heck out of my Cleveland Indians. Or I can watch the heck out of whomever else. And it's just like, dude, this doesn't even make sense. And I said it before and I'll say it again. All they have to do, if Madison, Monumental, if you want to charge me $10.99 a month and I get to watch the Nats on a stream, take my money. My credit card number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I mean, you just take my card. I'm gonna do it.
Look, I'm not gonna argue with you because I grew up watching the Bulls on WGN. Now at home I didn't have cable, but I would go to my godmother's house on the weekend. If the Bulls was playing that weekend, I was watching, especially if they were playing a back-to-back. I watched the Bulls all weekend. But when I was home and couldn't watch them on WGN, I used to listen to them on the radio. I used to get Chicago stations on the radio. If I put the radio a certain way in the window and turned to the channel 1000 on the AM, I listened to Chicago Bulls games. That's when I fell in love with listening to a game rather than watching it.
How old are you again?
What do you mean? I'm 41.
Oh, okay. Yeah, back in my day, Sonny, we used to listen to the game on the radio, son. We used to walk up here both ways.
But I listened to Redskin games. I listened to them on the radio because I had to work at night, so I didn't have a choice but to listen to it on the radio.
I got you
because I was on the move. You know, we put it on at work. You catch a glimpse of it in the break room when you walk by, but you upstairs, you got it on the radio. You know, I fell in love with that because I fell in love with Larry Michael. Well, first was Frank Herzog, but Larry Michael, Sonny Jurgensen, and Sam Huff. With the Bulls, I fell in love with Johnny Red Kerr. It's my guy. You know, but we don't have that anymore. So I'm not gonna go into a whole spiel about, you know, what it used to be, because what it was, it ain't no more. So
right.
But final thoughts before we get up out of here.
What was my one thing? Oh, my one thing is tonight, well, it's already started, but as of 8:10 today, PM Eastern Standard Time, this is the first time the Nationals have actually gone back to Houston since the World Series in 2019 off of Howie's home run. I actually thought about changing my Facebook picture to the Howie home run, but I didn't do it yet. That's my final thought.
Well, I'm going to say this.
I told you it was going to be under 22 minutes.
I couldn't think of the middle linebacker's name. We were talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. I was thinking about Willie Lanier. I'm going to try to come back on Thursday and talk about the gentleman that was their pipeline to the HBCUs. Edwin chimed in. He said the Iron Sheik died. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I know he was sick. Yeah, he was sick too. The crazy part about it, that man never hesitated every day to tell you go fuck yourself. And I appreciated that every day. You don't understand how many times I retweet. Every time I saw it, I retweeted and fuck the Hulk Hogan. I retweeted. I broke Bob Backlund's back. I made him humble. You know, so the Iron Sheik is somewhere making somebody, he's making an angel or somebody humble. So I'm just gonna say that. But we're gonna get up out of this thing. Man, I think Leroy, Ross, Edwin, everybody that joined tonight, everybody that watched, man, appreciate it. This is what makes these shows, number one, worth doing. Number two, they make them fun. When y'all chime in like that and we have good dialogue like this. Beautiful. That's all I'm going to say. Beautiful.
Yeah, because the one thing we always going to do is talk.
Yeah.
It's always an open conversation, baby.
And don't think I forgot, because I haven't. But we're gonna try to put some hard dates down. We're gonna go and get some ribs, some barbecue chicken. We're gonna get something. We're gonna find our place to eat, and we're gonna take our tour, and we're gonna sit back, kick our feet up, and we're gonna talk mad shit in public where we ain't got no time limits. They're gonna have to put us out. They're gonna start putting chairs on top of the tables. We gotta look, we ain't done talking yet. Right. Then you know how we do. Y'all know how we do. We gonna get ready to go home, and everybody just standing outside talking for another 2 hours. And the next thing, damn, it's 2 a.m. But yeah, like I was saying, that's how we gonna do it. We gonna have some fun. So when we put some hard dates together, please, man, I would love to have everybody out, just out enjoying each other's company and just eating food, because we got plenty of places. So we're gonna try to get that done. But until Thursday, that's the midnight ride. Oh, he on this side. That's the midnight ride. Edwin say, I have a master's at talking shit. Well, hey, we got that too. We all gonna fit in the good PhD in bullshitting. we gonna fit in just fine. Ross said date and time, I'm ready. Good. That's all I wanted to hear. But for the Midnight Rider, I'm the big guy KG. For all the sideline junkies on special assignment, we don't do no overtime, baby.
We are out of here.